You're gonna make me divide my audience right off the bat. That's not fair at all. Well, I do have to say I started early on console, but I spend all my time playing PC games currently. I don't know. I was born in New Jersey. I grew up playing video games my whole life. I always had consoles in the house. Pokemon was like a life movement for me. Actually, you can see in the background here. There's fun Pikachu's. There's a ton of them. But gaming early on has been a big part of my life, and competing early on, esports has always been a part of my life. I didn't realize until I took some time to like sit and think back, but I've been competing in video games. I've been competing in like trading card games my whole life with the Pokemon League and these events that used to tour around then. So it's kind of weird. It's been natural growing up in this world. I never stopped playing video games. I never stopped competing in video games. And now, as esports is sort of poised to take on the mainstream and become really popular, it's already selling out stadiums and it's getting on TV in the form of E-League and Here's the Dorm. I mean, it's huge, and I've been following it since the beginning. So, yeah, competitive video games. Yeah, actually, it's funny how many times I applied and tried out to be part of the Frag Dolls. When I joined the Frag Dolls 2 years ago, the Frag Dolls had already been a team for 10 years. So right from the very beginning, when I got interested in competitive gaming, there was not a lot going on. There was not a lot to cling to. I was a fan of Fatality, and just this last weekend, I got to work with Fatality at CES. I mean, it's amazing to have been such a fan of this culture growing up, a fan of the Frag Dolls, a fan of PMS Clan before that, a fan of Fatality, and to still be working around these incredible people today and to see how much they brought to the industry. But it was hard early on because you didn't have live streaming. I think live streaming has been the biggest change in competitive video games, because before that, you would sort of go to a hotel conference center and spend the weekend, and it'd be hot and stinky, and nobody would earn that much money, and even if you were the champion of everything, no one knew outside of that convention hall. Well, now we live stream these events. Now there's coverage all around the world in tons of different languages, and you can watch it as it happens, and that's changed everything. So these players that formerly were just succeeding in these really small venues are now superstars, and all the people that have been sort of in the peripheral watching them grow and been fans of them, it's really a validating experience to still see these people succeeding. Personally, I was a competitive player in a lot of different stuff casually. When Team Fortress 2 came out, when it was in beta in the early years, I really buckled down and tried to compete in that. I played on a team, we played in leagues every night, we traveled to tournaments, and that felt great. It was amazing. But if I learned one thing in that whole process, it was that I was far from the greatest player to touch that game. I went on to compete in a show called WCG Ultimate Gamer, a reality TV show, and I had thought, well, maybe I'll be the best girl. And then that show was won, of course, by Catherine Gunn, who is someone I've always been impressed with. Before I even competed with her on the show and competed with another player, Vanessa Ortega, I had written about them in essays for school, and I had been a fan of them. So to compete alongside them and then to see like their raw gaming power, I was, really kind of put in my place. But I loved esports so much, and I had other great talents. So what I decided to do was I was going to use my talents to highlight these other gamers, and use my experience playing competitively to really bring mainstream appreciation for the skill and the effort and the talent that is involved in competitive gaming. So I became an interviewer. I traveled to Korea. I would go to the StarCraft 2 pro gaming houses and run tournaments and interview those players. Early on in League of Legends, I interviewed a lot of the players. I hosted tournaments, and that's kind of what I do to this day. I host competitive video game tournaments, and I try and get the mainstream to understand this great passion and this great community. I recently had this past summer we had an event in Dracula's castle in Romania, which was its own like insane mix of video games. We were playing Hearthstone, we were playing Wizard Poker, so it was a perfect setting. And at one point during the tournament, like a bat broke in, and I had to like capture it in my hands and like put it out the window. Like, just crazy shit has happened. I've been to Sweden for DreamHack several times. Sweden, an incredible country and home to some of the best gamers. Korea, of course, was mind-blowing. I went down to the Philippines in Manila. Where have I been? Like, our first event that we really traveled for, my my partner Torch won a mobile game competition in WCG, and we found ourselves in Chengdu in 2009 for the World Cyber Games Championship. And he was competing in Wise Star 2, which was sort of like a knockoff Bejeweled. It was amazing, and it was so cool to be a part of that. And that in 2009 was when I first got my view of professional gamers as these huge celebrities. They would have hordes of fans chasing them for autographs, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And that was when I first got my taste of what esports has become, and it's only been bigger and bigger since. It's all over Europe, all over Asia, all over the US, expanding in South America. It's mind-blowing how far it's taken everybody. Every event, I sort of get there and I'm like, this is my favorite. Like, just being there in the moment, and the fact that I travel the world and everywhere I go I see the same groups of people. I see the same StarCraft casters, the same Hearthstone talent, the same players that have been competing in Counter-Strike all these years. It's amazing to travel to all these weird spaces in the world and to find friends. And so for that reason, there's nowhere I've gone that's ever been bad. There have been some really crazy and really fun times that we've definitely had, though. I will never forget DreamHack Valencia, and we totally, 10 of us missed our flights because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, let's go swim in the ocean! And then the ocean was, beautiful and warm, and everyone's partying on the beach, and everyone's planes are flying away, and so we spend the next day, me and Smix, trapped in different airports in different parts of the world. Regretting our decisions, but it's so much fun. It feels like family everywhere we go, and we always end up doing some really crazy stuff. Oh man, South by Southwest as an event is mind-blowing. I can't believe the way it takes over Austin. I love, all the people that come in and share this, sort of group love for music and tech and, current events and all kinds of stuff that's happening is for that weekend focused in Austin for South by. And when they first had the gaming portion, when they invited us out there as IPL, and we got to do a little preview of League of Legends, we got to show off some fighting games. It felt so welcoming. It really felt like we should have been there all along, and gaming, is carving out a bigger and bigger spot every year. So the Game Awards this year are going to be huge, and I'm so excited to be a part of them. Well, guys, if you can't wait to see me at the Gaming Awards, you can always catch me live on Twitch. I stream every week on twitch.tv/Seltzer, and I'll pop up my little image there. Yep, I stream every week on twitch.tv/Seltzer. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I post lots of pictures. I host lots of video game events. I'm going to be doing some cool stuff for some upcoming events at Twitch headquarters. There's lots of competitive gaming events happening all year long, and I'm always tweeting about them and sharing information. So if you guys are interested in esports and you want to know more, you can come give me a follow, and I'll show you our wonderful world. I read so many books, and I have just finished a bunch of Brandon Sanderson stories. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Mistborn trilogy or the Way of Kings, but we have a little esports book club. I have some really good friends who turned me on to Brandon Sanderson, so we all powered through those together, and I can't wait to get together with them and talk about everything that happened. It's a beautiful balance between Pokemon Red and Blue, which has been life-changing for me. It was the first time I really dove into a fandom. It was the first time that I obsessively researched a game and knew what it meant to kind of go beyond the surface of a game and to really explore it with a critical eye. I'll always be grateful to Pokemon and its many complexities, the trading card game, the virtual games, the competitions, for opening my eyes to competitive gaming and to taking gaming really seriously, maybe a little too seriously. I also love Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 was my first competitive team game, and it took me all around the world, and it introduced me to so many incredible people. But right now, I am all about Overwatch. Overwatch is in beta. It's coming back really soon. It's going to be released by Blizzard this spring. And oh my god, it's a beautiful game. So if you like FPS, if you like team-based FPS, I don't know if everyone's fond of saying this, but it's kind of like the grown-up Team Fortress 2. So I feel right at home there, and I think a lot of gamers are going to enjoy it. I'm also really excited to meet my co-host, Jacksepticeye, and the only person more excited than me, actually, is my young cousin, Catherine, who is, as she declared it, the largest Jacksepticeye fan in the world. So, Jack, you owe me an autograph for her, and I think we're gonna... Jack, you owe me an autograph for her, and I think we're going to have a great time hosting the Game Awards together.